Alright, let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what we got going on here today. As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, man, today's video is dealing with young Dolph girl, whom is Mia Jaye. So check this out, man. Word is, Mia Jaye, she finally got young Dolph jewelry from the Scorpion unit. And not just the jewelry that the Scorpion unit had took when young Dolph got sent up at Makita's. See, if y'all not familiar with the story, I want to say about 4 or 5 years back, somewhere in between 2018 and 2019. Yeah, around the same time that somebody got up in young Dolph camel car and took his blue jewelry and a whole bunch of cash. See, at first, young Dolph, he thought it was some regular jack boys. And then come to find out, it was actually the guys that was on the Scorpion unit. Yeah, man, the same ones that's related to Yo Gotti and his brother Big Juke. Man, the more I read up on the Scorpion unit, the more I try to understand how did they continue to get away with this. And I'm not just talking about them antagonizing young Dolph even before he got sent up at the cookie shop. Man, while y'all at it, why don't y'all show y'all love and drop those Dolphs in the comments for Paper Route Frank. Matter of fact, let's pay our respects and say rest in peace to young Dolph, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Dolph land. See, if y'all don't understand, there's been a bunch of other people to step forth and speak on how the Scorpion unit been treating them. See, once the T. Nichols case came out and it was documented that the Scorpion unit was behind it, most folks in Memphis already knew the history of the Scorpion unit. To me, it's just messed up that all these black men got together just to orchestrate a plan and take out Paper Route Frank. You mean to tell me they couldn't get together for the benefit of Memphis? How much planning went into taking out young Dolph? It's the same amount of planning that you need to get your community together. But that's not the way they wanted to go. And the reason why is because young Dolph, he was too much competition. See, at first, Yo Gotti and his brother Big Juke, they always thought that young Dolph would just stay a regular artist. They never knew that young Dolph really had the business mentality to run his own label. And that's what he ended up doing. But again, Yo Gotti and Big Juke, they never seen that coming. But young Dolph, he ended up proving them wrong by staying consistent with his grind. And that's the same thing that young Dolph had taught the different Paper Route artists. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay consistent in order for your fans to take you seriously. And we can all see that Key Glock, he listened to everything that young Dolph had taught him. And not only did he do it, young Dolph, he was almost reaching the level of somebody like Master P. And that's actually who young Dolph said that he looked up to. Because young Dolph said he respected how Master P came in the game with an independent mind frame. And that's the same mentality that young Dolph had. So when Yo Gotti asked him to be a part of CMG or to collab PRE and CMG together, young Dolph said, nah, man, you do your thing and I'ma do my thing. Like, we could still respect one another and give each other space based on signing artists out of Memphis. But at the same time, I got other goals in mind. Plus, young Dolph, he was already familiar with how Yo Gotti was doing his artists. So from a hands-on perspective, young Dolph already knew that'd be a bad idea. Because at first, Yo Gotti, he was just using most of his artists to get on top. Meaning, he was using the songs that his artists would write, and he would put them out as he did it himself. So his artists never got the credit that they fully deserved by not letting them put out the music that they created. And again, Yo Gotti, he had been doing that for years straight. And one of the people that he was doing that to was somebody from Memphis, whom is Snootie Wild. Come on, man, Snootie Wild. He was by Yo Gotti's side for some years. But again, Snootie Wild, he never really got that respect from Yo Gotti or the industry. So for those who didn't know, Snootie Wild, he got sent up last year in Houston, right before Lotta Cash Desto, the daughter of Govin, the one who said he orchestrated the whole young Dolph setup. Matter of fact, while we at it, let's go ahead and say rest in peace to Snootie Wild and condolences to his family. Same thing for Govin's daughter. She didn't deserve to get set up in Houston. So we want to say rest in peace to Lotta Cash Desto and condolences to her family. But it's just messed up that the actions from her pops is the reason why she got set up. And that's part of the reason why Govin is taking a rap for Big Juke, dealing with this whole young Dolph setup. But again, the folks in Memphis know that Govin, he orchestrated by getting the guys together who had something to do with taking out young Dolph. But at the same time, we all know that Govan, he ain't got the cash like Big Jook to pay for this whole ordeal. But we gonna see what comes out after Big Jook affiliate Govan got caught with that cell phone behind the wall. So y'all just pay close attention to when the next court date come up, based around Straight Drop, Cornelius Smith, Govan, and Straight Drop relative, whom is Jamarcus Johnson, and the guys on the Scorpion unit. A lot of folks feel like they got a lot to say, so they gonna start talking. So like I was stating, man, it was a whole bunch of jealousy that came out of Heavy Camp and CMG, all based on they never thought that young Dolph would rise to that occasion. At first, they tried to ignore, but the more they ignored it, young Dolph, he would continue to grow. And not only himself, he would grow to the point of signing a bunch of artists to be a part of Paper Route. And a bunch of the artists that young Dolph had signed, they was young. And that was the mentality of young Dolph, was to look out for the younger generation by giving them a chance to make money to support themselves and their family. And that's the reason why young Dolph had a lot of respect in Memphis. Once they heard how young Dolph got sent up, it shocked everybody in Memphis. You even had some folks' grandmas who was tripping behind young Dolph getting sent up, because that's how much young Dolph looked out for his community of Castay, or better yet, most of the families that's from South Memphis. Now the folks can see the Scorpion unit, they ain't just take young Dolph jewelry, they also had something to do with deleting that parking lot footage. Yeah, so they end up grabbing young Dolph blue jewelry with the Smurf with the 6-point star on it and the 6-point star ring by itself. Because y'all gotta understand, most of Yo Gotti family, they VL. They ride under the 5. So that's another reason why they end up taking young Dolph blue jewelry. Basically based on greed, jealousy, and hate. And this the thing, if young Dolph had never became successful, they would have never cared about it. Meaning, they would have never paid off a bunch of guys to take out Paper Route Frank. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's mostly all due to young Dolph being competition for Yo Gotti. And I think that Yo Gotti didn't like the competition of young Dolph, knowing he had been #1 in Memphis for years. Because young Dolph, he didn't only have love in the streets, he also had love in the industry, from the same ones who wasn't feeling Yo Gotti. And I don't have to put no names out there, you already know who I'm talking about. One of those guys, he had no problem looking out for young Dolph. And that's your boy Gucci Man, Mr. 1017 So Icy. But that parking lot of Makita's, where they set up young Dolph at, it got cameras everywhere. So that should let y'all know they already had this plan in advance how they would take out Paper Route Frank. Like I said, man, it's a sad situation. I know you got some folks out there saying, well, young Dolph, he put this on himself by even going at Yo Gotti and his brother Big Jook. See, at the same time, y'all gotta understand where young Dolph was coming from. He was just playing it as regular competition. He never thought that it would get to the point where they would want to set him up. Because young Dolph, he been knowing Yo Gotti and Big Jook since he was around 15, 16 years old. Maybe even a couple years before that. So from a young Dolph perspective, again, he's just seeing it as regular competition. He never knew that Yo Gotti or his brother Big Jook would get all up in their feelings. But I think they got more in their feelings based around what young Dolph had turned into. See, what I'm saying is, they never thought that young Dolph would have the mindset to become the mogul that he became. See, they thought that young Dolph was going to be one for in, one for out. They didn't know that he was actually going to come in the rap game and become an independent mogul. While Yo Gotti, he's mostly an industry mogul. So their grind going to be a little different, even though they both may be chasing the same goal. Now don't get me wrong, Yo Gotti, he had to work to get where he at as well. But what I'm saying is, Yo Gotti, he had more help from the industry than young Dolph. See, at first, a lot of people didn't even respect young Dolph. So young Dolph, he had to continue to put out good music so he can gain some loyal fans and the people can finally respect him. See, I know it's a bunch of folks in Dolph land, they ain't been feeling right ever since young Dolph got sent up. Because young Dolph, he was that guy. He looked out for the whole community. And everybody in Castay, they knew that. That's the reason why they respected him. That's the reason why, once they heard that young Dolph got sent up, the whole Castay fled to Makita's. Because they wanted to see, was it really real? I just want to say, I'm happy that me and Jaye got young Dolph blue jewelry back. And hopefully, this can get closer to young Dolph family getting some type of justice for young Dolph being sent up at the cookie shop. So with that, always be aware and always stay prepared. But hey, we got more in store. As always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.